Howdy, howdy, howdy.
I can't do a silent protest with you guys, can I?
Nope.
You don't see the complete open panel discussion, silent protest until someone comes up and chooses a topic. So Howdy's your topic. What do you want to say about Howdy?
Who's howdy?
So, kind
I
of.
wanted to talk about my brother, brother Pat. Patty Pie.
So for those who don't know, Pat Seguin, everyone loves and adores Pat Seguin. If you don't know who Pat Seguin is, you should be arrested. I wrote a 10-page dedication to Pat Seguin today and forgot all about it. He is a wonderful man, and today he's celebrating his birthday. So if anybody want to chat, want to throw some love to Pat Seguin, we're actually live with his brother, Paulie Seguin. Paulie Seguin, talk about Pat growing up as a child and how he was with you. Now, is he your little brother or is he your bigger brother?
He's my older brother, but he was the runt of the litter.
Okay.
So he got picked on a little. He's a little bit of a weirdo. But I love him. He's my little Patty Pie.
Is the thing about Pat, the one thing about Pat that everybody says true is he might have his thumb up his ass, but he's the first person to give you that thumb if you need a thumb to suck on. Is that a good way to describe Pat?
Yeah, definitely.
Like
he'd give you that thumb. He'd give you both thumbs. He'd give you the whole fist.
Give you the whole fist if he needs me. So, anyone else want to come on and FTP? You want to come on up since you're not live and I'm live finally? You can come on up and choose the subject, whatever you want to talk about. Odin, what would you like to talk? This is open panel, guys. I have no topic in mind. I am ready to go with the punches, and we just have a
Pat's had a stroke.
Yep.
Patty Pie's had his struggles through the years. I mean, wetting the bed till he's 40, that's tough, but he got through
Right.
it. He got through it.
Well,
He
that's the
was
big
proud to
challenge.
get.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the big thing about his group is how can they go out of their way and call people out for wetting the bed when he did it till he was 40.
Right.
I understand that argument. I do. I know other people in Discord won't like that argument, but I definitely do think it's hypocritical when you've been wetting the bed since you've been 40 years. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's
I
deflection.
digress.
I feel bad for I feel bad for my little bro, for my big bro, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. It is what it is.
We should talk about getting you 1,000 subs.
Yeah, we should talk about. I lost a couple subs after opening my fat mouth about celebrating 800 subs. That was a dumb fucking move.
Did you hear that Taco guy? He finally hit 100.
Taco hit 100. That is
Yeah.
awesome. That is. How many subs does Pat Seguin have?
I think he's up to my big bro. He's up to 80, 87 or something. He's getting up to 100 too.
Is there a sibling rivalry between Pat Seguin and Paulie Seguin?
Back in the day, I would say yeah.
Right.
But we had very different hobbies. I mean, I was very into sports. I played football. I was the bigger guy.
He was in the ballet.
And he was way to ballet, the jazz. I mean, he would put us to sleep. It sucked being in the house. Sometimes when he'd be playing that saxophone and stuff, he would put us all to sleep.
I've noticed whenever he gets into an argument, he taps his feet a lot. So now I know where that came from. Paul Kemp, come on up on panel. Choose the discussion. So Odin, you want to talk about the 1,000 subs? What to you does having 1,000 subs mean to a channel? Does that add more relevance, more street cred? How does that do it?
It just does add street cred and a possibility. FTP.
So does 1,000 subs make you more legitimate than someone with 200 subs? I mean,
not really.
What's your take on this, FTP?
El Sancho is going to be at 1,000 here in about 2 weeks, month.
I appreciate that. Now, what about this whole 1,000?
No time.
So my thing with 1,000 subs and the importance of me getting 1,000 subs is to have a community page and to have the ability. I'm building bridges, but I can only build bridges on panels like I'm doing now. Having a community page opens up to other channels and what the good that other people do and educate people on, hey, this person really isn't that bad. Here's why, and X, Y, and Z. And it's a lot what you see on this channel already, a lot of eye-opening things when people get to know the person behind the camera. But having a community page would be another weapon that I need to build that bridge between anti and pro.
Community page will let you get your page out there so that other people can see. Not only you can share other people's pages, but you can share yourself out there. And yeah, a community page definitely opens up the community to you and you to the community, and sharing even more in posts and pictures and exciting new things about your channel.
Right.
That's all you want to do is promote your own channel. But keep in mind, promoting other people's channel can just make you that much more popular.
So is it a catch-22 FTP though? I mean, did you have over 3,000 subs, right?
Yeah.
Is it a catch-22 when you promote people's channels? Does that kind of open the floodgate to, hey, why don't you plug my channel? And you're a bad person because you can't plug everybody's channel because, hello, you have your own channel.
I should mind my...
Sancho, I'm catching hell from Pat, so I'm going to drop out for a second.
All right. Talk to you soon, Paul. Thank you. Go ahead, FTP.
I should mind my own business. I should do my own thing. I should not promote other people's channel that I don't know what they're all about, right? But I've seen the littlest, the kindest people and the most loving people in the community from other countries, in fact, share out my channel religiously. So yeah, how do you say, well, I shouldn't? No, it's called the people in the community. If they're negative and you don't want that and you don't want to promote that,
Right.
don't promote it. Because if you don't believe in what I believe in, or I mean, to each their own, but I worry about the little guys under 1,000, and the job is to get them to 1,000. You've seen me with Chris Powers. There's just no reason. He's been around for so long. He's been helping in the community. He's a community supporter. I really haven't heard a lot of the bad against Chris Powers, so I'm totally on board with promoting him, and because if you just keep a guy below 1,000, he's never going to reach his full potential, and he's never going to be a creative. Like I've had the pleasure of meeting other YouTubers. I mean, how many people can say I left my house, I got off the couch, and I traveled 2,000 miles to go meet somebody else? That's huge.
You had a beer with SNS and didn't even need to win a Make-A-Wish or anything like that. I mean, that's like, I mean, how many people want to have a beer and kick back with SNS and just shoot the shit? You know, he comes off as a guy that, you know, old school kind of guy that you just want to kick back and have a drink and shoot the shit with. And you did that, you know, you did that. I mean, I was impressed by that group that came together for a great cause and did that auction. And I think they were raising funds for someone's cancer fund or something. And that was a really like awesome thing, and good job on everybody for coming together and driving as far as you guys did to come together and raise money for somebody. That is what we need more of, the unity and the build bridging and the building relationship, and to know that there's, you know, besides this whole YouTube beef, there's a bigger cause and there's a bigger reason, and there's a reason why you got into this in the first place, and sticking to that and reminding yourself of why you opened your channel and why, and the anger you felt when you were thrown down to the pavement for simply doing a middle finger. You know, remind yourself of that's why you got into it. And sometimes people lose that. They lose focus of why they got into it. I mean, I just mediated I don't know if you know about the giant beef between Ricky Monday, SGV, and Ice Cold Audit, but long story short, they've had a really bad beef. One person went to another person's neighborhood, did an audit. They've been fighting for a while, accusations, slander, defaming, the whole nine. Michael Malloy decides to referee. With all due respect to Michael Malloy, I love him. If I had a list of referees, he would not be on that list. And he was overwhelmed by the swearing, the racial slur. I mean, when you're mad, you say shit you don't mean. YouTube shouldn't be the platform for that. So it was 40 minutes of just dumpster fire insults, and Malloy just putting his hands up like, I don't know what to do. And I mean, when you're not that alpha, you don't speak up. When you got two or three people that are alpha, you're not going to get a word in edgewise. So another alpha, which is me, had to hop in there and calmed everybody down, yelled at everybody for acting like 10-year-olds, and got everybody to call a truce, got everybody to squash their beef. And you have not heard 3 or 4 days any beef coming from either camp. And that is the bridge that we need to build.
Right.
Sometimes you got to go in there with a fire hose and just spray everybody down and say, okay, chew your ass out.
Well, not only spray them down, but remind them, like, I understand where you're coming from. You're an angry person. I am as well. I say and do shit that I don't mean when I'm angry. And reminding them that we're all human beings. We all put our pants on the same way every morning. Like, you don't ever want to discredit someone's beef. Like, FTP, if you hate somebody, I'm never going to go to you and say, well, first of all, you really shouldn't hate that person. Who am I to say that? Who am I to tell you how to feel? But if we can meet in the middle and find common ground and highlight that and emphasize that and blow that up to the point where it's like, you know what? We both agree on X, Y, and Z. Do we really want to go at each other for the public to view like we're circus animals? Or focus on X, Y, and Z?
I can tell you this. From a standpoint of, you should never, ever, ever go against your competition. Even in business, you're going up against, well, let's just say this, a small car crushing company just starting out versus the big guy standing on the corner. You honk as you go by, and he comes into town, and all of a sudden he's got a weapon. Now, by calling him out or saying that you're in town while you arrive, that's kind of showing the disrespect. Then you roll into his town and you take hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business while he stands there and watches it. And he's Goliath. He's the biggest guy. Understand that the tensions get so high and the violence gets so high so quick that you're really focused on doing business and respectfully, and you're treating the people with respect. You're giving them the money that they deserve for their vehicles. You're doing business right, and so you're basically outperforming the other guy. But what you failed to notice is you stomped on his ground, you stomped in his face, and now you have to deal with him for 5 to 10 years because he lives in that community also. So just the wars went back and forth for many, many years, and it ends up being the Hatfield and the McCoys all over again. And in a community this small, what you don't realize is Ricky Monday, Ice Cold Audits, Mike Malloy. And when I say Ice Cold Audits, he's young, he's feisty. But has he been in it as long as, say, Ricky Monday? Does he have as much clout? Does he have as much, but is he out there doing it? Yes. But is going at someone's throat the right thing to do, or going into their neighborhood? We can go into their neighborhoods, but how should we act? How should we conduct ourselves? Look, I love the way Ice Cold does an audit. I love it. But at the end of the day, once you start beefing with your own people in your own community, it will fall a little short. And yeah, Mike Malloy is not a champion referee. That's for sure. So if you did step in and get into that or get on that, then it needed it, because it needed it before it blows up into something it doesn't need to be.
I don't know. Mike's a pretty good referee when he's in the mood to be one.
We wasn't in the mood that day. So how difficult is it, FTP, for you? I mean, listen, you got loyal followers. How difficult is it? And this was a big issue between these two camps, was their followers. Their followers went after each other. Let's just say FTP, you're feuding with John Black. John Black has a similar channel to you, similar views, but you two just don't get along. So your followers are going on John Black's channel, trolling him, going after him, spamming him, accusations, attacks, the whole nine. John Black's channel is coming over to FTP's live stream and fucking with you beyond belief. You're not going to go after the trolls. You're going to go after the person who these people are coming from, correct?
Oh, yes.
That's the problem.
Don't go after the people. Oh, boy. You put that in a difficult spot for me,
Yeah.
like in my head. I can't even wrap my head around. I know that's what goes on, though. And then I know that my people rush over to your people rush over to my people. You're sending people in, you're saying his name, you're trying to tear people out of my room to go to your room, to get involved in your drama. I don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
I really don't. It doesn't need to be like this. Like, just because you did this or I said this on a video does not. Wow, dude, is that messing with your money? I didn't mess with your money. I said I love you. That's all I said, man. I felt bad that I watched a video, and yeah, his freakouts are funny, but I'm not trying to get in the middle of World War III. And look, man, my subscriber base, even though I have a good subscriber base, my daily watch views or hours, or the people that come into my room, get really torn down, and they don't want to hear the dysfunction, the fighting, the constant arguing, the over talking, the overbearing, the way you do it, El Sancho, is a little bit smarter, is a little bit wiser, is a little bit just smarter, in a sense. So if you run a smart room, then that's what you're going to project. But if you run a low down, dirty game, then people see that, the underhanded blows, and I got taught that early on in YouTube, is to not slander people, is to not cut people off at the necks and be like, just because you're mad at them because they did something wrong or came in your room and said something wrong, and then go back over to their room and start spewing stuff in their room. But And I notice followers do come over to my room. So if I'm over and I do decide to troll or put what I put in their room, they come over right away and they start messing with me, even though I didn't put my link. They go out of their way to type my name in their little search bar, and they're like, "I seen you over in Wes Daly's room, and you was trolling pretty hard." Well, yeah, no, it's just and I feel both sides of the coin. He's out on the front line, and he's doing it different. My brother's out on the front line; he's doing something different.
We have an issue with the car crash mentality where everybody loves the drama, and you can go on your live stream and say, I think John Black's a really good cat and I support what he does. One person goes to John Black's live stream, FTP's talking shit about you, and then John Black's going on a half-hour rant about FTP being a piece of shit. That's the issue. They don't want to hear you praise somebody. They don't want to hear you say good job, good ups. They want to hear you rip somebody down. And that is the bloodthirsty mentality that right now is the majority. And a channel like mine is the minority. And getting this minority to grow day by day with a community page is only going to help that. But drama, true or false, everybody, drama right now, and thank you, FTP, you are one of the only few people that I can count on my fucking hand that have publicly admitted that this is a small community. Thank you. Because a lot of people think this is the biggest community in the world. I got into an argument with somebody earlier who, because I had a YouTube channel of sports related, that I was aware of everything going on in the 1A community, which you and I both know is asinine and retarded. So thank you for acknowledging the newness and the youngness of this community. But my question to the three of you is, the majority right now is the drama. The minority is the education. I'm going to go on mute. FTP, Odin, and then Taco. Go ahead.
Yes, the minority of being in the community or not, the lack of community, or if there is or isn't, or how you view your channel doesn't mean you do or don't want to get drug into this. You want to build your own subscriber base. You want new blood, fresh blood, and you want it from all over YouTube. Yeah, how you're it's small. It's small. I thought it was big. It's small. I thought there was many people I could appeal to. It's small, and a lot of people want to they think what goes around doesn't come around, but they stay in the same rooms. Every room they're in, I'm in. Every one comes over to my channel, messes with my subscriber base, turns them against me, and then goes back to their, and they think that I didn't notice. Like, I noticed what you just did there. It was pretty low. It was pretty dirty. You want to cause the drama on my channel because I do a panel or whatever. You think that I'm not going to come back over and retaliate, or you think I'm going to put up with it. But if I just hit the block button, you will be gone. Your main channel will be gone. And yes, I do take it out on the channel owners, right? Because your people coming over to my house, what are you jealous about? Because I don't feel it. What are you jealous about? I got 3,000 subscribers. Whoop-de-doo. And then half of them are like, well, for a week, I was like, you know what? My 15 minutes of fame ran out. Okay, so everybody said, eventually you're going to be a nobody. Your 15 minutes is going to run out. Why is that? Because my subscribers don't come back, because you turn them against me, or because I turn them against myself, or I just don't have the passion for it anymore because all I hear is arguing, fighting in what is a small community.
This is a community? Okay.
What? I don't say it's a community. I don't say that. I say that it's like-minded. There are some like-minded individuals. Some. Yeah, not even that. I mean, no, you can't call it a community. And I know your turn's up there, Odin. You got to take a step back, but I kind of lost where I was going to go with that. Go ahead, Odin.
Is it a community? No. You got people that claim to know the law that don't know the law. You got people that are attacking others' channels because they want their subs or view hours. You got a bunch of, excuse my term here, criminals attacking police over something small and minute. Could it be overlooked? On most parts, yes. And vice versa for the cops, could overlook some of the stuff the auditors do.
I agree.
It's just
Hold on.
on.
So here's a prime example. No Draws On is a big follower of us, loves me. FTP just spoke. What's this guy's channel name? I'd like to check him out. FTP, can you please let him know? This is what this channel's for. Building a bridge and educating people. I can't tell you how many people love Majorly Awesome, Rice Krispies, Liberty Bird. They saw a side of Eric Brandt they have never seen before when he's on my show. Like the chemistry him and I have is he's a blunt motherfucker, and so am I. So FTP, can you real quick let people know? Actually, can you give me the link let me get that for you. Fuck it.
I know it's almost easier, isn't it, when you're on a computer?
I'll do it myself. It is. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you now. So go ahead, Captain Lee. Welcome.
Thanks, Sancho. How you guys doing today?
Is this Rogue?
This is Rogue.
This is Rogue, yes, sir.
Welcome, Rogue.
Thank you, sir.
What happened to my turn?
Taco, you go, and then we'll let Lee kind of counteract and go after you. How about that? Sorry.
So yeah, this is definitely, whether it's a community or a similar topic, I guess you could say. Because it's such a similar, small area, people are able to make it personal against each person, and that's where that kind of drama gets even magnified and everything. And so the people that have non-drama type channels, I think, kind of hurt in subs. Sancho's kind of the oddball out with his, and I think it's because of his ability to kind of branch out and try different things and make some kind of unique choices. And I gotta give him credit for all the different branches he's gone out, and then I'm gonna start kind of doing that a little bit with my channel too. My big thing with my channel is I'm trying to get to know people one-on-one and what makes them tick. That's what my channel does. Each person kind of has their own thing with their channels, and a lot of auditors have their own flavor of how they do things. So it's finding out what each auditor does, or what the other side does, and finding the flavors with that. But the drama is definitely what draws people. I mean, look at what people love emo, because of his rage, and then they go to the Drama Donor to Shiva because he mirrors it, and the commentary with that, and they love that. They love everyone loves a good train wreck.
And I will go see Shiva. I will go see Emo's room every now and then. I don't want to get booted out of there, so I don't comment anything anymore. They're sick of me over there. I've poked the beehive one too many times or said something to Emo that he just hates. I don't understand how I became on his most hated list, but I made it. Wasn't trying to. I really think that...
So here's something cool, FTP. So welcome, Leslie, brand new subscriber. Subbing based on Southside Slacker advisement alone, but something else happened, Captain Awesome. The fact that she sees Rogue Nation in here, you barely spoke, my guy. And the fact that you're on this panel just got her helping a lot with the fact that she's subscribed. So thank you, Captain Lee and Southside Slacker. 2 announcements real quick. Those who want to plug FTP's channel from now on can do !FTP. When that happens, this will show up. Please subscribe to FTP here. So FTP, anytime you want to pop in when there's a live feed, you're more than welcome to just do !FTP and your channel gets showed up. And the same will go, Taco also has that feature. And please subscribe to Taco Josh and help rub his hamstrings. And Southside Slacker has one too, !Slacker. And please subscribe to Southside Slacker here. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
The other thing I was going to say is this was kind of brought back to, when you were talking about the 1,000 subs. That is a huge thing. I mean, because it adds so much to a channel, because that community tab is huge. And there's just a lot of things with YouTube that I think it really brings your page towards the front of the search algorithms. It monetizes your page. It does so much that, it just helps the YouTuber out so much. I don't really care about the monetization, but the community tab and the search algorithms and everything like that is just huge.
A lot of people don't realize what they don't have. But anyways, I think we should let Rogue talk for a little bit here.
Yeah, sorry.
Rogue, let's talk about 2 things. Let's talk about that 1,000 subs. What's the I hear feedback. Is that from Rogue?
Is that me?
Yeah, it might be you with feedback. I wanted to ask you about the 1,000 subs. What is the significance on the 1,000 subs? And I also want to kick back on question 2 and talk about the benefits of having a loyal fan base. But the issues with loyalty is they're also the first people, like Ice Cold was with this whole beef. They're also the first people to have your back and jump up and punch someone in the mouth if there's any issues, essentially.
All right. So, the thing with 1,000 subs is huge. Like the other guys were saying, for, the community tab, for being able to go live, and not just for the monetization, which, a lot of people realize there's not a lot of money in YouTube, unless you're, a huge channel. In fact, the video I released this morning was yellowed for, says hateful content, but it's the same content I put on all my other videos. So YouTube's kind of iffy as far as what it'll allow and what it won't allow. Sometimes it'll allow one thing and it'll disallow the exact same thing. So it's kind of iffy there for monetization. As far as the drama goes, I try to keep my stuff drama free. I don't host a lot of panels. I actually don't host any panels on my channel. I do live streams here and there, a very blue moon. Because there is a lot of drama with certain channels and certain factions, I guess, within the community. Small community. I do consider it a community. It might not seem like a community, but I do.
You're breaking up. Do you want to go on Wi-Fi or go to 4G? Rogue, you're breaking up on us.
I am.
We're losing them. Yep. All right, let me knock them off and knock them back on. Rogue? Nope, you're still. Yeah, you might be in the boonies with no reception. If you want to hop off and hop back on, I'm going to post a link for you to try to give it a go, because you got verbal vitamins, and I want to take everything you're saying. And that's the other thing, FTP, is super huge, and that's a big thing that I do, is I realize I'm irrelevant. I realize I have a baby channel, and I realize I'm a student in the game who's still learning, despite the fact that I have marketing experience and journalism experience and media experience, and I know how to, build sports channels and build channels like that. When you get into a community this small, you're starting from scratch. It's like you're a manager at one job, you get laid off, and you got to start at ground level at another job. You got to be humble, not have an ego, realize your shit does stink, and listen to people like Majorly Awesome and like Teresa and DS, like I do. Like I said last night, like Desert Sentinel and La Teresa are like my two advisors. I listen, but I also love listening to someone like Rogue, who's got a mountain of intelligence. Why wouldn't you listen to someone like that?
I had to
It's
eat.
also, sorry,
Yep.
it's also listening to your audience.
Yes. It's what they want. It's a creator. It's what they want to see out of you, and it's what they're disappointed in seeing in you. And I've seen when Teresa pops in. I've seen when these people and what they can bring, and whether it's good or bad, they can totally sway people one way or another. And hey, come watch this, or hey, nope, this isn't quality content. It only takes one big person and one big guy like Rogue Nation. 60, some of his videos have so many views on them. I don't know how he does it. I don't know if it's the editing. I don't know if it's just being a genuine person. I have no idea. I can only. I've seen Jeff. I've seen him just blast out some videos that 50, 60,000, but the arresting videos get a lot of views. I mean, mine was up to 100,000, 60 to 70,000. And that was mind-boggling that one arrest video can really go viral like that.
So we're
But if you want to be humbled, just look up like any video game channel, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
bam.
There was another channel, FGP, that was promoting and dedicating to doxing me. There was a plan to shut my channel down, which other people got involved in, unfortunately. And the only way to get my channel back was releasing my personal information. So it was a plan from the get-go to dox me. And that Sunday was supposed to be, let's find out who this person is, if he's really a child molester, all this disgusting, vile things. They had about 80 people in the chat. Joe Rogan was live with over 6,000 people. It's a small community. It's a small audience.
And it all comes right back. So you're saying you got doxxed?
No, they tried to, but I didn't give my information up. Spoke to CFW from human to human. We both understood where we got. Neither of us apologized, but we have grown as human beings and get along quite well now. She withdrew the strikes. We spoke like human beings, and we get along great well. She was on my show last night.
And it's difficult. I want you to know this, El Santo. You can be the best at what you do. You can think you're the best at what you do. And when you put up other people's videos, you always take that chance. I never, ever, ever, and I made a mistake doing this. I never, ever put up James Freeman's interpretation of my video. His video, I never put it up on my channel because that's his content. Now, he said in the video, he's like, oh, hey, go ahead and share it out. But as a creator, I know that my life depends on if you make a strike or not, or if that's it. So basically the only thing I can show is the way I see it is my face. That's the only safe bet. The minute I go out and give someone else that power against me, I am at their will and their mercy to just throw me off the platform. Now, do I do things that are messy? Yeah. I try and edit, go private. Don't continue showing the content more than once, but there are songs that you know what? You guys are going to listen to this because this is a fact. This is out there. This is in music. But hey, it doesn't mean that anybody's going to take it seriously or not.
Right.
It's not going to give you a strike. But if you go around pissing people off, you're going to get them strikes.
Well, one big thing I realized and learned that truth isn't always the end-all be-all. The truth doesn't matter in some places because at the end of the day, you're on a platform with terms of service and rules and that you have to adhere by. Truth don't mean shit because at the end of the day, I was essentially challenged to prove that somebody was lying and consistently did that with video evidence. The truth was there, and YouTube didn't care because we have to abide by terms of service and protect our ass when it comes to copyright, fair use, etc. I could have appealed those strikes and won very easily under fair use, but I would have had to dox myself, which wasn't worth it when I had like 200 subs at the time, by the way. So it wasn't a battle that was worth it. Hence why I have News Now Sancho. News Now Sancho was created the weekend of El Sancho's funeral. That's the only two accounts I have, News Now Sancho and Sancho. Right now, those are the only two I use because I need to have a backup channel. Lee, you have a backup channel. FTP, do you have a backup channel?
I do.
Okay, good. Taco. So here's the thing. We have somebody with under 100 subs on the panel. Has been mirroring stuff on that Slacker. We're making sure he's staying safe. That's my guy over there. Another mod on my channel, Southside Slacker. I want to kind of give you two YouTube grizzled vets the opportunity to tutor a young pup who's in the YouTube genre right now and kind of give them a little advice. Like, what's the top 3 things that you wish you learned when you started your channel, Lee, that you can kind of bestow upon young Taco? And then after Lee, we'll go with FTP.
You know, it's that you can't please everybody all the time. I think that's the number one thing that I learned, even though I knew it before. It kind of takes on a different approach with YouTube, because no matter how well you're doing things or how well you think you're doing things, there's always people out there that are going to tell you that, you know, you're still doing it wrong, or, you know, there's a lot of experts in the field that have never really read a book on the field, but they'll tell you everything you need to know about it. So, you know, my advice would be to just do whatever you like, do what you want, and then, you know, if it's good stuff, then people are going to come regardless.
Thank you.
This is true. The criticism, their creativity, the willingness to listen to someone else while they're trying to tell you to be more structured of a channel. I don't think I flop subjects too much. I don't think that's going to work for me. Would I love to stay on point? Yes, I would, but it's not.
You know, my biggest thing, and I was talking to Liberty earlier, we were on the phone talking, and I said, you know, Joe Cool said to me the other night, one of the most fascinating truth things any human could say, and it was said on this show. He stated, you know, because you're such a bridge builder, Sancho, and because you're in the middle in most situations, you're going to get a lot of hate from both sides of the fence. And he said, imagine if you interview Antifa, imagine if you interview, you know, Black Lives Matter, etc. The amount of hate that I'm going to be receiving, I need to put an umbrella on and get ready, because having Massel Report on and having Eric Grant on and having people like that come from two different dynamics, I'm going to receive hate from both sides. And I need to have that umbrella on and stress that if you're a law-abiding citizen and if you're following the law, who am I to tell you shouldn't be able to do something? But on the other side of the fence, I go on the agitation and I go on the egotistical part, where you become more of the story than the rights that aren't being exercised, that need to be exercised, and the change you want to advocate for. I'm public on my platform, and I'm still trying to bring both groups together to not have a fuck fest and blowjob fest and all that stuff, but to be civil and to just agree to disagree that we have bad cops and we need to get those bad cops out. And if we work together and we work together with the good cops, find the good cops, work together with the good cops, and zero in and sniper in on those bad cops, that is the most effective way to remove a bad police officer. My channel has had dozens and dozens of videos of body cams, of bad cops, of good cops, of cops getting arrested, cops going to jail. Every logic that people have said on both sides of the fence, I have killed. We need to realize and understand, and I'm going to do it in my DPN voice because everybody loves when I sound like Disorderly Product News, who I'm a giant fan of. He's in Chicago. He covered the riots in Wisconsin. He's a very good-looking man. Disorderly Product News. You got to build the bridge between good versus bad and meet in the middle to create more good.
That's a tough act to follow. No, Joe Cool is he's a cool cat. It takes a lot to discern people that are hurt. It takes a lot to look into someone's soul and realize that's not the person you've seen or you see out there on the streets, or that it's behind the camera that's running the camera. There's a person behind there. I've never spoken to Joe, I don't think, on the phone. And there may be a reason for that. There may not. I feel like some people make their decisions on the way they want their channels to go, and that's the way they're going to go. It is my intention not so that you don't hurt. I asked him one time, I said, if there was any statue you could take down, which one would you take down? And he told me there was a statue that he goes outside in Columbus Park, and that's the statue he would pick. And I said, then Joe, that's what I want for you. I want that to come down for you so that you can stop holding that resentment or that hate, or that I want you to feel included, invited, loved. I mean, not the animosity that people feel, that he feels, that the Americans as prisoners, just constant war.
Are we good? Taco, you want to pick up from there? Anyone? Taco?
Hello?
Why did everyone get quiet the second I posted it in the chat for Southside Slacker? Everyone got quiet after that.
Sorry, I thought I lost my connection.
No,
I actually thought I lost my connection
I'm getting a little rain
when everyone got cool.
But like, how important? Yeah, go ahead.
I actually wanted to say something real quick to you, Sancho.
Yeah.
That I wanted to say before, but didn't get a chance to get in. You know, I actually owed you a lot for my channel because after episode 2 that you were in, you know, you talked to me and you were like, you know, you need to find the direction of your show. You know, this one was kind of a mess. You know, find a format and everything, and that's why I did. And I wouldn't have like the format I have now, and the like thing that people love, which is that Tacos Would You Rather. You know, that's really become the hit. I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for you, because of, you know, you telling me, hey, you need to have this. So I appreciate that from you. And that's not just blowing smoke up your butt or anything like that. You know, that's part of that listening thing that I'm, you know, any channel has to do. You know, you have to be humble and everything like that and take advice.
I will always remember being on Michael Malloy's show with no subs. I will always remember the people that were loyal to me when unfounded allegations were held my way. I will always be loyal to the people that were in that chat defending me when those things were going down. And I will always be loyal to those that have stuck by me through one funeral, you know? So you gotta stay loyal and stay 100. I mean, you absolutely need to remember where you came from. And if you forget where you came from and I think as some of these people you've seen with the camera have done that. They've lost focus of why they got into it, and they're misguided on the laws. They don't know the laws, and they become a criminal themselves. Well, not a criminal themselves. I'm reading the chat and doing this at once. they become the focus themselves, where they become an agitator, like to the point where people tune into their channel to see, oh, who's he going to call it pig next? Who's he going to threaten next? Who is he going to pepper spray next? Instead of, let's see if this officer passes or fails. Let's see if this officer got an education today. Or better, or let's see if everybody got an education today. That's the issue we're having right now with viewers, in my opinion, is what are they looking forward to? Right now, a live mirror is going on. I know Southside Slacker is giving verbal vitamins to the world, and there may be a few people who want him to go 20 feet closer when he can't, but he doesn't listen to those people. He would rather follow the law and give you the vitamins and give you the education, all while the entertainment's still there, because he's 20 feet, he's 20 feet from the action. He's as close as you can get. That's what you need. You need that healthy balance.
Yeah. And I think that's what you're seeing, some of these ones that, used to be good, they start getting a little bit angrier, and they start turning to where they've started crossing the line, and then they get in trouble, and then they get, a lot angrier, and then they become, a crap show.
So,
I saw the Resistance the other day, and he was completely out of control.
Well, my issue is the blanket statements. My issue is because one person decided to pick up a camera and call a police officer the N-word doesn't mean when everyone else is in front of a police officer, auditing, they're going to do the same thing.
That's when I'm at my worst, is when I'm El Sancho. It's probably when I regret it the most, is I'm on the other end of a camera and I let myself down, I let my viewers down, and that's the bottom line. I know I'm losing people at that point because the hate just worked against me. I worked against myself, and at the end of the day, should have just stayed home, I guess.
Well, I think the guilty charge you're of is you're humbled, which is good and bad for you. Being humbled, you may think you don't have an audience and you don't have a platform that's big enough for people to really give a shit of what you say and react to what you say. And I think you realize that they do, and you do have a platform, and you do have people who are listening to everything you say, good or bad.
Yep, and I need to pay attention to that. Otherwise, I'm gonna end up losing it all. Anyways, it's getting loud. I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta run up, grab an order that's ready at Walmart.
Peace and love.
And Rogue, I'm sorry we didn't get to talk to you more. I'm sorry I didn't get to talk to you more. But peace.
I appreciate you, man. So, Captain Lee, I got an email from somebody. It's kind of an anonymous email that is, I'm going to keep this person anonymous, but it kind of talks about a very difficult subject, Lee. I've been learning how to exercise my rights and control my temperament. I'm not perfect by any stretch, but I'm working on constant improvement and finding my niche. I've been able to handle, hold on one second. I've been able to handle the trolls mostly by just removing them in my channel. But the veiled death threats to me and my family halted my progress and have caused me quite some concern lately. I know it's probably just an internet tough guy bravado, but at the same time, I can't help but notice. Any advice or experience you have with a similar situation you may have encountered, Rogue?
Yeah, we all get threats here and there. I've had a gentleman that is constantly emailing me and telling me, he knows where I live, and him and a whole bunch of guys are getting together, and they're going to shut us down and all this other stuff. But to me, it's when I'm doing something right that people are angry enough to act as foolish as they do by sending us these emails or text messages or whatever have you not. I equate it to back in the day, back during the revolution, if there were emails around, we could be sure that George Washington and Thomas Jefferson received emails from their fellow Americans saying, hey, guys, going against the British Army, that's just suicide. You guys are idiots. And, you know, I mean, you could basically transplant email we got to the, you know, the same email that they would have gotten, you know. You're going to ruin it for all of us. We're going to, you know, kill your family because, you know, we're loyal to the Brits and whatever else. So, I mean, there's always going to be hard times and people that don't like what you're doing, especially when it's messing with the status quo. You know, everybody, you talk to people today and everybody will tell you, you know, what life's going to be like for them in 5 or 10 years. Unfortunately, nobody, you know, plans that far in advance. But when you start telling them that, you know, that your theories, your ideals are going to maybe change some of the future that they're looking at, and they tend to you know, be upset by that. So, you know, logically, when you think about citizens watching over their government, there should be no kind of friction there. You know, I mean, what citizen doesn't want their government watched over to make sure they're doing the right thing? And the only people that I could come up with is people that have reaped benefits from the way it's been for so long, that when you start telling them, hey, you know, things are going to be different from now on, the sheriff's actually going to arrest you for speeding, you know, even though he's your brother, then they tend to get upset. And then we see stuff like, you know, emails like that and such. But I really pay it no mind. I mean, you know, one thing that we can all guarantee in our life is that we're all going to die someday, be it me here driving the car down 75, or you at your home with a tree limb falling from the storm and crushing your house, or we're all going to die someday. So we might as well die doing something productive and doing something that we would hope would, you know, bring something better for not just ourselves, but for our fellow, you know, people. Because in the end, we're all human, you know, no matter what color or what religion or whatever else, we're all humans here. So,
Right. So
it's nice to, you know, go ahead.
Yeah, we're all flawed human beings, and expecting great things out of somebody is something we've all made mistakes of. Oh, you should have known better. If I was you, I would have done this. And it's like, well, you're not me. I'm flawed. You're flawed. We fuck up. Like, what are we doing here?
Sancho, I haven't got a death threat from you know, my channel here, but I actually got one from a board game review once.
Really?
Yeah, someone really took offense to a board game review I did, and they were like, you know, you deserve to, you know, die, and I'm gonna come kill you, and this and that, and
well,
apparently
I will disagree on one thing. I can not only die from a tree falling through my window, but I almost died last night doing a live panel. I am a flawed human being. And on a consistent basis, I lean back on my office chair. Like, there's no problem. And I had an after party last night for the stream. Anybody who didn't want to be on air can come on and shoot the shit. It was great. We had an off the record. Everyone just shot the shit. It was awesome. Got to know me a little bit better, all that stuff. And right when we got off air, I'm like leaning in my office chair, and I flip over the fucking chair. I literally, like, everybody heard this giant noise and the lamp falling and everything, and it was dead silence. And I thought I kicked the internet off because literally I flew backwards. And midair, I caught my lamp from falling down. So I could have died right there. And the funniest part was the amount of silence. CFW was there. The amount of silence, and then me yelling, hello? Like I was a 90-year-old who was falling and I can't get up. Because I was laying on my floor yelling, is everybody still there?
Sancho getting doxxed because he fallen and can't get up and had to have someone call 911 for him.
That would have been the only instance that I wish I had my camera on, because that would have been a viral video of me flipping over and yelling, hello?
I need a new chair, computer chair, and I'm just waiting for mine to break one of these times when I'm live.
Oh, it was so funny. So Taco had a little, I don't know how much you want to get into it, but the negative side of social media. You recently had, I guess it's safe to say, a learning lesson where it got, hand got put in a cookie jar a little bit when maybe it shouldn't have been. And, Discord's a public platform. Putting stuff out there could be utilized against you in the long run. Rogue, when did you kind of learn that first lesson that whenever I put myself out there, which, by the way, you do it with the best intentions, you do it to build relationship, you do it to show that, I'm a human like you are, or, you let's just say you go over something personal and then it gets used against you. When was kind of the first time you realized, like, holy shit, like there is that vitriol hate that can be out there as well? And how surprised were you how surprised were you right away when that happened, Rogue?
Well, I was surprised, but not unprepared, I guess you could say. Because we grew up in a time when there wasn't any internet. So when the internet finally came around, we had a better grasp on the fact that whatever we put out into the world was going to be there forever and be able to be used, against us. Thank God when I was young and crazy, the internet wasn't around, but I realize that now that it is, anything that we say, just like, what the officers say, can be used against you. So, I try to keep, I guess, I don't want to say my chi in line, but I guess it's sort of like chi, but I want, anything that I say or do, I want it to be the same that I would say or do in person, or the same person that I would be on camera to be the same person that I would be if you were to meet me in person. And the subscribers that have met me would be able to tell you that I'm, pretty much the same guy all the way around. I'm easygoing, and I'm easygoing because I have high blood pressure, and I have a family of heart problems, father and grandfather. And so I try to take a low key approach and a less drama filled approach. So, I don't put anything out there really that I think is, detrimental to my image, because again, my image is pretty much the same all the way around. I have no problem admitting to the mistakes I've made in the past, which were, numerous. I was at 18 and 20 years old. I was as dumb as most Americans are about the law and, about, rights and about everything else. So, I think it's just important that people realize that, there are people watching, even if it's not you, if it's, the FBI. I got a wake up call years ago that the FBI was watching everything on Yahoo Chat, and I didn't think about it at the time, but they do. They watch everything online. They got a record of everything. So, the more cautious you are with what you're putting out there, the better you're going to be. But again, try to live your life to where nothing that you do is going to be seen as hurtful or detrimental, or tarnishing to your image or what have you not, I guess it's easier when you have kids because you think about it a lot more, when you got kids, and what kind of example you want to lead. When I first started auditing, I realized that, hey, I'm not going to get as many views as these people standing out here on the corner cursing and yelling at the police. And the reason that I wasn't going to get as many views is because, like you guys know, people love to see the drama. And, my wife told me, she goes, you have to remember, she goes, one day your girls are going to grow up and they're going to see your videos. My girls, one's 13 years old. They've never seen not one of my videos. They're too young to understand the concepts of freedom and rights and stuff that I'm working towards right now. It's it would be mind boggling to them to try to understand that. So I don't even allow them to watch it, but one day they will watch my videos. And one thing I don't want them to say is, gee, my dad was a real asshole.
How important is it? And when you first got into this, did you ever want to form a group like you're in now? And how important is it to not only be in a group, but to find the right group to associate with?
Hey, Sancho, I need to hop out.
All right, peace out, Taco.
Yep.
See you,
Thanks for having
Taco.
me. See you, Rogue.
I'm going to wrap up soon, too, but I want to get that question in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great that I was able to find a group of guys down here. There's a lot of, there's a lot of people outside Florida that comment to us Florida guys about how tight knit our group is and how well, together we seem. We're still all independent, of course. But it's nice to have people that, you can rely on, that you could work with, that's got your back and does along the same lines, style wise. A lot of the guys, we all have, basic stuff that we don't do, which is, some of the stuff that a lot of the other peoples do. We try not to antagonize. We try not to curse and act crazy, and part of that's because, we want it to be about their actions and not our actions. That's it's a big thing with me. I was pushed out of the Lake City post office last year. I mean, the guy literally shoved me out the door as hard as he could. And, a lot of comments were like, I would have turned around and decked that guy in the face and, blah, blah, blah. And I had every right to defend myself. But what I told them was this, and I wouldn't have done anything different. And what it is that I want to keep the story focused on their actions. Once I retaliate or once I become unruly, then everything I've worked for in that video is lost. And then it becomes about my actions. And how they can use my actions against me, So yeah, I think it's definitely important to.
Do you guys communicate with each other on your lives? Who goes live what time? So there's no competing live streams going on or anything like that.
Not when we're not out together. When we're out together, if someone wants to go live, they'll say, hey, you guys mind if I go live, or hey, I'm going live. And when we're together, we tend not to go live together. So in that respect, absolutely. But I mean, everybody's got their own, subscribers and stuff like that. So we don't try as far as that goes. Now, when I was with Bang, we would kind of coordinate our times with other times, like, for example, the Real News Network had the police accountability report on, and so we decided to go on after them so that way we wouldn't be in direct competition with them. So, stuff like that, sure. But, I mean, just as independents, we kind of do our own thing. Obviously, if I see, somebody like James Madison or Wrights Crispy doing a live, I'm going to hold off and watch their live and then go live maybe afterwards if I need to go live or whatever. But, yeah, we try to keep it civil for the most part. I mean, we all enjoy each other, working with each other. We enjoy, going out with each other. I was just with Wrights Crispy and James Madison 2 days in Georgia. We got hotel rooms for a couple of nights. We ate breakfast together, dinner together, and, went out auditing and stuff. So it's nice to have people that are there with you doing the same thing you are, that have a lot of the same shared goals and values on what we want to accomplish. So, I mean, I'd like to say it'd be nice if everybody could get that, but I know in a lot of the different areas, there's, groups of auditors going at each other's throats and that kind of stuff. So, you can't really, I guess, save everybody, but those of us in the community that are working towards education and working towards change, we've got something coming up, and it's not something that I'm gonna reveal now, but in a couple of weeks we'll be ready with it, and it's gonna be shocking to a lot of people in the community, and it's gonna be a good thing for a lot of people, and we're hoping that it's welcome, because we definitely want to create an understanding that not everybody is going out there and antagonizing people, and again, not to say who is or who isn't. Again, you know, like I've always said, if you're exercising your First Amendment right and you're doing it legally, then I mean, more power to you. You know, some of the stuff they do is funny, and I watch a lot of everybody's videos, and I get a good laugh and stuff like that. And just like most humans, if there's a car crash, I'm going to turn my head and look, and the same thing goes with their videos. You know, a lot of times there's a lot of drama in it, and people enjoy drama. So, but there's also the education factor, and we want to, you know, make it apparent what we're here for and what we're doing. So, you know, in a couple of weeks, people will start seeing a little something different, and there's a lot of people signed on to help out with this, and it's going to lead to a different direction for a lot of people's thoughts on the community.
What percentage of law enforcement listens to your channels, and what do you think the intention of them are for listening and watching?
I'd say the law enforcement agencies that have had interactions with auditors, they might, you know, look at some of the stuff that we do. I do know a local sheriff's office down by where I live has been watching my videos, and you know, they know who I am, and they've actually come into my work and stuff like that. So they know who I am and where I work and that kind of stuff. So, but you know, I get emails a lot of times from law enforcement. Some are supporters, some are haters. So I'd say it's a good mix. You know, some people understand what we're doing and why we're doing it, you know, and I try to explain it to them as well, that we're not here to bust one certain person or to harass one certain person. You know, we're out there working for everybody. Transparent government is only going to enrich all of our lives, you know, not just my life or your life. It's going to enrich everybody's life. One of my favorite examples is there was a fire chief in Alabama who had worked 30 years for this town, and then he retired. And because the city had mismanaged their budget, they ended up cutting his pension, and he ended up freezing to death because he couldn't afford heat. And that's exactly, you know, the kind of stuff that needs to be exposed. You know, because unfortunately, well, what happens is people work for the city or the state or the county or whatever, and they get this power and they think, wow, you know, this is the way it's always going to be. Well, what happens is after your ass retires, you're not important to the state or the city or the county anymore, and neither is your pension. So if it comes between your pension and the city getting a brand new, you know, $40 million city hall, well, guess whose ass out, you know? So. You there, my man?
So sorry. So let's just say in a perfect world, your rights are no longer violated. Does that mean you are no longer an auditor?
No. Auditing, you know, the right to free press is the basis for my auditing, and the right to free press in its purest form is the right to take what our public officials are doing and then present that to the rest of the citizens so they can make informed decisions on if this person's really working for their benefit or their own benefit. So auditing to me is something that should have been going on for 200 years and would probably go on as long as there's government to watch. I mean, unless we put robots in charge of government, then you can always be assured that, you know, human emotions and needs like greed and envy and jealousy and stuff are still at play. So, I mean, there's always the predicament of having other people's money in front of you and ways to spend it, and to try not to get caught for your own benefit. And while that's in play, I think we always need someone to watch over government.
So laws are no longer violated. You're filming police doing nothing but doing something you wish they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, etc. Would you still put that on your channel?
Absolutely. The second part of free press is disseminating it to the public. And again, it doesn't have to be police officers. It can be, public servants. I'm much more inclined that public servants, absent police, are usually the ones in the position to, commit the fraud and such as that. And in police, that would include, like the police captain. There was the chief, I think, of the Fort Myers Police Department last year got busted using his state credit card for things like NRA memberships for his buddies and, stuff like that. So, anybody in that administrative position, be it the police or be it in the city or county or whatever, I think those guys definitely need more looking at and watching than, say, the beat cop on the street, because as we know, policies flow downhill, and the way the street cop treats us comes to us from his sergeant, his lieutenant, and how he's seen, the other upper echelon people work. And him seeing that and him thinking it's okay because, hey, my sergeant does it, so why can't I? So yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't spend a whole lot of time actually cop watching. I do it very rarely. Usually when I'm out in a different area, I'll go out for the night and do some cop watching or night auditing. But yeah, my focus is mainly on the public servants. And again, we don't catch them like red-handed or nothing, but I'll give you a perfect example. I'm on a return trip from Valdosta, Georgia right now. So a couple of months ago, I was up in Valdosta. I made a video at the health department there, and one of my subscribers here in Valdosta seen it, and they called me up. They said they're having a problem here in Valdosta with the Southern Georgia something to end homelessness. It's an agency down here that's supposed to help people, not become homeless. And they're showing me their paperwork and stuff, and it looks like it's rife with fraud. And the guy who runs it's a pastor, and it just, I'm putting out the story. I'll have the story up by tomorrow. I'm asking everybody to call Habitat for Humanity and stuff in the area on Monday. They got a court case on Monday, but this is how fraud is caught and seen. It's not caught when I walk in for the first time and they see me with a camera. What happens is people that work there, or people that know the people that work there, see that somebody's trying to keep an eye on these folks, and then they'll email me and they'll tell me all the bad stuff that's going on. That way I can be able to investigate it properly. But otherwise, without us going out there, these people have nowhere to turn because, first of all, it's the government that's screwing them. And I'll give you an example. This guy down here in Valdosta, he told my subscribers, that he runs Georgia and he's politically connected and this and that. And that's how these people feel. They get these godlike complexes because they've been running this fraud for so long. And, his brother works at, Habitat, and his sister works for the clerk of court. So, he's got it all sewn up and, so, it's nice that people can say, hey, there's a guy, Rogue Nation or Rights Crispy or whoever, and he's not scared of these guys. And he doesn't, these guys don't owe him nothing. A lot of times people, don't want to complain because, A, it's their job and they don't want to lose their job, or B, who are they going to complain to? Because they know if their boss is involved with the fraud, and their boss is best friends with their boss, you know, that it's hard to report fraud. You know, I ran across the lady like that. I haven't released her story yet, but it's basically the same thing. She worked for an agency. She saw a whole bunch of tomfoolery, but, you know, A, she didn't want to lose her job, and B, who is she going to tell? Her boss and her boss's boss, they're best friends. I mean, they're on each other's Facebooks and shit. So, you know, who are you going to tell that's going to make a difference? Well, that, you know, they call me or Wrights or whoever else, and we try to do what little we can. But I mean, these people that, you know, have tried every other avenue, you know, these people's story that I'm releasing, you know, tonight or tomorrow night, you know, they've made all the calls, they've talked to all the directors and stuff, and they're still not getting any kind of satisfaction.
Now, is your other channel? I mean, there, you know, we've had some questions in the chat about positive videos. What percentage do you have on either channel that is a positive video that's a pass?
All my auditing videos on my American Freedom channel, they're all passes, and I got about 40 of them up, and that's not anywhere near the amount of passes that I have. I would say on an outing, I usually see between 40 to 60% passing. So it's very rare. Like this last trip we were on, we got hit a bunch of times by a bunch of tyrants. But I mean, very rarely does that happen. Usually I'll go out for 2 days. One day I'll see no tyrants at all. And, you know, the next day I'll see, you know, 3 or 4, you know. But usually I'd say about 40 to 60% pass. And I don't have the time to upload all the videos. I've got multiple videos I got to get up. I've got 360 degree videos I got to get up. Plus, you know, I got so much other stuff I got going on. So it makes it hard. But I mean, there are a good percentage of passes. There are a good percentage of officers and public servants that have been trained on this, and they know, and that gives me confidence as well. You know, when I go into a place and they respect my rights, that gives me confidence that what I'm doing is right. You know, because again, otherwise I'd be in jail or I'd be kicked out or something like that. But there are people out there that do know their rights. Some of them have been on my fail videos. I have one from and I don't even remember what place it was. I think it was Martin County down in Florida. And this guy, Vince, you know, he kept following me around, and he called the cops and, you know, all this other stuff. And we went back into human resources, and the lady in the back in the human resources just let him have it. You know, she's like, yeah, you're a public servant. You're allowed to be on camera. You know, I mean, she was 100% like knowledgeable on what her obligations were as a servant to the public and what our rights were as you know, the employers. And she really, you know, really told it to him. And, you know, it's really a great sight to behold. There was another one too in Citrus County where I went in and I was standing there, and the gentleman had come up to me and he said, you know, did anybody say anything to you? And I said, no one said anything to me. And he goes, well, that's good. He goes, I'm trying to teach them about First Amendment rights and everything. So, I mean, the guy had already, you know, schooled his staff, and nobody looked at me crazy or came up and asked me crazy questions. And I did my business there and I left, you know, in a couple minutes. So there are people that watch, and that people that know, and that people that help us out, you know. So
is your second channel, which is American Freedom, is that primarily passes? Is that 100%?
Yes, that was originally set up. Yes. If there's an audit video on there, it's a pass. Now I started trying to put my 360 audits up there as well, which some of them are passes, some of them aren't. But I haven't. I think I've only put one 360 video up so far. I've been so busy, but all the auditing videos on there are passes. And like I tell people, you can look at the video from that channel and then go over to my Rogue Nation channel, and you'll see that I employ the exact same, you know, tactics, I guess, in both videos. And the only difference that you'll find in the videos is the way the people react to my camera. And that's it. I don't curse in the Rogue Nation videos, and I don't say, "Oh, sweet Molly, just pee" on the other channel, So
I think it's very. I
they
think
usually
it's very. I think it's important because there's two sides of the fence. I think it's important to keep that pass channel strictly passes, because you're going to open up to another audience that strictly wants to see something that they don't see a lot of, and that's all they want to see. They don't want to have another play. They don't want to have another, like, they don't want to set your channel to a playlist of all your channels you've uploaded from new to old or old to new, whatever, and then eventually see a 360 of a fail. It kind of kills the boner, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, yeah, originally the Freedom channel was set up to just house my lawsuit paperwork and stuff. But then I decided, obviously lawsuits take time. There's not a lot of action going on there. So I decided, instead of putting my passes up on my Rogue Nation channel, just to put them up on this channel. That way there's that contrast. And also because I got tired of people saying, "Oh, it's only for clicks and views." I said, well, if it's only for clicks and views, then I would put all my videos on one channel that's monetized, and I wouldn't put my passes over here on a channel that's not monetized for people to see and contrast the differences. So
we are mirroring Southside Slacker still. He's live right now. Can you kind of, so I have a new command. I have two new commands. I have the row command that will plug your channel now. And I also have the pass command, ! pass, and it will please, and then it subscribes to American Freedom here. So if you can do me a motherfucking favor and stick to passes, because I'm promoting passes and I love passes, and a channel primarily towards passes, in my opinion, is something that a lot of my audience want to see. You got a few new, you just got a handful of freaking brand new with subs. Because of this, because of the thought of passes, because you're providing something that we don't see enough of, and we need to see that healthy balance in order for someone to be taken serious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And the issue I'm having is the poker issue, hiding the cards. We don't know how many videos people really do that are fails, like compared to passes. They could go out in 1 month and do 20 videos, and 12 of those videos are fails, but 8 videos are passes. But they don't tell you about the 8 videos that are passes, and they go out of their way and say, "Oh, I did a dozen videos and they're all fails." You don't know the SD card exists because it's their shit, their computer, their privacy. But they go on a platform and say, "Oh, a dozen places failed." And why would they want to bring up the 8 that passed? Because it kind of pees in their Cheerios a little bit, my guy, no?
I would imagine so. I mean, I can't imagine why people wouldn't put passes up, even if it's on their own channel, on their main channel, just to show, the contrast. And I know obviously passes don't get the, the views that other videos would get, but again, what we're trying to do, hopefully, is we're trying to bring the people's behavior to the forefront. So again, that people can make, wise decisions about who's in their community that's actually leading them. So the passes to me are just as important, because the people that are doing the right stuff, we want to promote them. We want to back them. If one guy does good, and I get wind that he's running for mayor, I want to back that guy, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think they're just as important. I don't know if everybody should have a separate channel for passes like I do. Again, it's just something that I've done. But I do believe that more people should say, hey, these people have passed, these people, were crazy. And let folks make their own decision. That's what I think.
It's just believing when there's those who are genuine and say, "Listen, I've done 14 videos and all of them are fails," and you mean it. That does exist. That will exist, absolutely. But the other logic of, I've done 20 videos and 6 of them are passes, but I'm not really telling anybody because it's a secret. That's bothersome to me.
Right. Right. Yeah. If you're going to say one, you got to say the other. I don't usually ever say, you know, hey, I went out and did 20 videos and these were fails and these were passes. Usually I just tell people, hey, you know, I went out to Columbus today and Atlanta, and, you know, we've got some good videos and we've got some bad videos, you know, and I don't try to put a number on it because, again, sometimes even I am mystified by how many videos I've got on my SD card. You know, I'll go back and I'll be like, oh, wow, I totally forgot I did this video, you know, or because when I go out, I start early in the morning as I can, and I work all day up until 6 or 7, and I get some food. And then I usually, if I'm out, like we were in Georgia, then we'll go back out at night and we'll do some either cop watching or night audits. And then we'll get back to the hotel like 12 or 1 and, you know, go to sleep and wake back up again at 8 in the morning, and we'll head right back out. And so I steadily work while I'm out doing it. You know, it's not, I don't go sightseeing when I'm out of state or, you know, doing anything like that. I'm there strictly for one purpose, and that's, you know, to make videos, to watch over these people, and that's it. You know, if a subscriber is in that town and I know about it and they contact me, I try to make a couple of minutes to visit with them or whatever, and then, you know, that's about it. But so I try to put in a lot of work whenever I go out, because I try not to go out all the time. You know, I got family at home and another job and stuff. So
I have a wish list of people that I want to interview in the community and outside the community. I think we all have them. Walk me through a wish list of a town or a police department that you haven't hit yet that you want to go and visit, and, you know, something like maybe a Leon Valley, with everything that you've heard about the place like that. Is there a wish list for you of a place that you want to audit and kind of check out?
Yeah, and, you know, it changes, and unfortunately I don't have the money to just fly off to these places, but you know, Jackson, Michigan is one of them, where Freedom News Now was attacked there, and I saw another video of his from a couple days before that, and the people there were just really irate. You know, Leon Valley, of course, is another one where it just seems, you know, to be really crazy there. You know, I want to go to where those areas are, because obviously those areas are the ones that need people looking at them the most. You know, New Jersey Divers says there's, you know, like 6 districts that don't have case law supporting the right to record the police or public officials. So those 6 districts are places where I would like to go. I mean, this stuff needs addressed, and you know, it needs looked after. You know, the same thing with East Chicago, Gary, Indiana. That area up there is rife with fraud and you know, the good old boy network, and it's been like that for 40 years. You know, and I lived up there myself for quite a while and can attest to, you know, stuff that I seen with my own eyes, you know, like law enforcement officers taking drugs off kids and then partying with other law enforcement officers at a stripper's house I knew, you know. So I've seen shit like that with my own eyes. So I know that kind of stuff occurs, and it's just not being addressed. So
we have a little bit of a reunion. The last time we had you two on, we had about 3 million people watch your debate. And it'll be good to. I'm wrapping up in about a few minutes, NJ Driver. So just a heads up. So I want you to drive on up on panel and drive your point home and give you a chance to, you know. But I'm glad that I can get you two on again, reunited. You know, it's very rare after a heated debate like that, a very wire debate. You know, Bush and Gore. You never see them on, you know, equal playing field and friendly after that. So this is a really good sign after how feverishly close that debate and those polling results was, I haven't heard one flat earth accusation. I haven't heard one, fabricated mail-in voting accusation from either camp, and I'm very proud of that.
Well, he's a good guy. That's why.
I try to be. Yeah, the other thing is there is a case pending the end of next month in the 8th Circuit. It's someone who is familiar to many in Discord, and some of his documentation is out there, but I'm not going to name him.
My professor?
Nope. He's in Southern California.
My professor's in Southern California. Is he?
Yeah, but this gentleman is in the 8th Circuit.
Oh.
California's the 9th. They already have a case.
Oh. Okay.
And you said the case is he going for being able to photograph in public the police or the servants?
That's part of it. Actually, that's the whole entire thing of it. In a nutshell, he was arrested for recording on a public street certain vehicles parked illegally. And the fact that it was behind a police station makes it interesting.
Okay. Well, I'll be interested to hear the outcome on that then.
I believe it's, from what the paperwork I saw said, oral arguments would be by video on the 23rd of September in the 8th Circuit. I don't know if they'll make that public or not, but
I can't believe I just highlighted that fucking comment. It's it starts off good. Hello everybody, hope you've had a great time and enjoying the content. It would be most appreciated if you would subscribe to our host El Sancho. She is loved and respected throughout the community. Thanks. What the fuck that day? Was this your idea to put him up to that?
Was that my logo?
Was that your idea to put him up to that? Murph is very influential. Did you influence him to dox me that I'm a woman?
I have no idea who that individual is.
That's your story and you're sticking to it.
No, that's the truth. I have no idea who that is.
Well, he knows Santos. And you know Santos. By the way, not only is our trolling starting to no longer be inside baseball, I got like 2 emails that I didn't realize from people, from like subscribers that are asking me if NJ Diver really thinks my name is Santos. I'll forward you the emails. It's starting to spread like wildfire.
That's because you're doing the same bloody thing, only more blatantly.
by calling you driver, by saying driver, NJ Driver. Yeah.
You can't figure it out.
For those who don't know, NJ was one of the first people I really talked to when I left the other place and went on Michael Malloy's show and started my own channel. And I was an angry motherfucker at that time. I'll be honest with you with how bad that breakup was, and it was refreshing to see someone calm and cool and logistical and fact and a sign that humans do exist. And now we have a thing going where he's going on panels calling me Santos and I'm calling him NJ Driver. But people are starting to finally catch on to it.
Well, like I've said before, what's going on with this?
Uh-oh.
No, sometimes I can't see whether or not I'm getting through. The mic sometimes doesn't pick up. No, it's just a little way of me checking whether I'm being heard or not by certain parties.
Oh, when you speak, people listen, whether they like what you're saying or not. They're always listening, and it's the same thing with I think Rogue and me as well. They may not like you, they may love you, but they gotta listen, and they're gonna listen, and they're gonna hopefully learn something at the end of it, because that's really what the goal is like, you don't have to like me, just learn, just listen to me and kind of give me a chance to voice my opinion and hopefully educate you,
Or so since I started building the library, both in Discord and online,
Right.
learned that you can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make them think. I mean, how many dozens of these auditors since then have been arrested for stepping over the line that is clearly out there for them to learn not to cross? And how many of them now are facing some serious charges for letting their emotions get the better of them? I mean, the two things that people need in this genre, most importantly, is self-control. If you don't have self-control, you're going to wind up incarcerated eventually.
So I'm gonna do a Rakasha voodoo shake because I just posted NJ Diver's YouTube channel, and I'm trying to resurrect it and bring it back to life so we can get some content. NJ Diver.
Yeah, well, it was stillborn, and I don't mind. There's nothing there.
I posted it.
Don't bother clicking on it. Don't bother going there. All you're going to see is in the comment or community, whatever section it is, about section, is why I don't audit.
Right, but you don't have to audit to have a voice and to do videos. And you're already getting subs, by the way, as I'm bringing this up. Your sub count's climbing, which is awesome.
The very thing that these people claim they're fighting for,
right,
is what we're doing right now.
What about the static? I mean, listen, I know StreamYard is a giant replacement for it, but what about the static recording of, you just talking into the microphone with no camera on, no nothing, and just doing a 5-minute rant? I think that will go a long way, and it requires little to no effort besides recording and uploading.
Well, that's what blogs are for too. So,
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit of a shame that, like, it's, you're kind of, from a factual standpoint, you're like kind of like a Big Mac. When they came up with the double Big Mac, all those fat kids, tried it because they like the Big Mac and they want more of it. And I think when you hop on these panels and like spit facts and educate and change people's minds, you get a little bit of a following, and it shouldn't be like a box of chocolates. Like, I wonder if NJ Diver's going to pop up today. It's good to go to your channel and get that kind of, that NJ like Diver kind of fix on a 2-minute video that you just put up. I think that'd be beneficial.
I'm not going to go into production. I have too many other things I'm doing, and as was stated by your other guest here today, it does take a lot of time. I know how to do it. I used to edit videos of my daughter's soccer team years ago. And I've got, oh God, I don't know how many dozens of actual tapes of her games, because the only main video camera that I have is the old DV tape. And unfortunately, I just don't have the wherewithal to bother doing that. And like I said, the research I do for this and 2 other groups are taking all of my time. That and doing these panels.
Who do you two look out right now that are new at the cop watching auditing game? It's one of my final questions. And thank you, Rogue, for hanging on for so long. You've been very, very charitable. Who do you both know in this game that are young, that are under 1,000 subs, that are scratching and clawing, that's an auditor or a cop watcher that should get more attention, that you like?
I leave that up to you and others to do.
Jesus, you deflect like crazy when I ask questions.
Oh, I'm telling the truth, my friend.
Open up and give us your opinion for once.
Nope. I don't have an opinion
gonna
because I don't
tickle you.
watch them.
I'm gonna tickle you for an opinion. You don't watch them?
You can tickle all you like. I have. Yep. So we just lost the
See
road.
what happens when we talk tickle stuff? He's coming right back up. He's a tickle person too.
No, I don't watch them. I'm too involved in doing other things.
Device is not connected, Rogue. So you might have some connection issues. If you want to come back, try again.
Audio, yeah, his audio or video needs to go through a cycle.
Or it's loading through. Yeah, it does take a little bit to load through audio, video, which is weird. It depends where he's located at.
Yeah, well, if you're working off a cell site or if your Wi-Fi's not so good.
Did I lose you guys?
You're back now. We were talking about like tickle stuff, and then conveniently you dropped off. But I know it wasn't, because we were talking about me trying to tickle NJ to get his opinion for once.
Well, who I like coming up right now, and I believe she's over 1,000 subs now, but she's got very few videos, is Acura Amanda from South Florida. I think she's got a head on her shoulders. I know she's been in the community for a while, so I know she's keen on NJ Diver's advice. And she's keen on a lot. So that's good. I think we could use.
Oh, we lost him. And I think we got him back. He just
guys. So, Acura Amanda would be my pick. Her and American Amy, both are down there in South Florida, and I think they're going to be doing some really good stuff down there.
Yeah, I think it's different when you see a woman practice the Second Amendment. I mean, is that wrong to say from a cop watching point of view?
No, I don't believe so. I'm just excited that the ladies, or some ladies at least, are excited about that stuff. It tends to be, as you guys know, from the channels and from the commenters, mostly men in the First Amendment community and the freedom community, that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to see some ladies involved in it. I think it's important, for the ladies to get involved as well as the guys. So yeah,
the light just went out.
Huh? Say again?
Sorry.
I just think there's always. I think what the auditors do with the Second Amendment is admirable, but it's extremely risk-taking as well. And I think we haven't seen a lot of the females do that. I haven't, in my humble opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. And I think it's appealing to see a female exercise that right on a cop watching basis. And you look at the threat level, and the threat level, is it de-escalated a little bit knowing that it's a female, or does law enforcement do hands-on just because of the fact that a gun's involved?
Right.
How cool would it be, like CFW, driving around in the fucking tank? People would love to watch that shit, driving around with like a army gear and helmet. I mean, there's another person that does this, Furry Potato, that does similar hijinks and stunts and gets a big audience because of it. And new people to the movement see that kind of behavior, and they label everybody with that, a stigma. Oh, well, you don't, threaten to beat people up and die piggy die, and all cops should die. Like, you don't do that because this auditor did it and you're auditing. So there's the assumption that you're bad because somebody else is bad. Because Glenn Serio called a couple cops the N-word means anybody who picks up a camera and films police is automatically going to do that. And that's that broad brush that I have an issue with on that side of the fence.
yeah, like I said, it'd be interesting to get some females out there and doing it and seeing what the response is,
Yeah.
seeing how it compares, to like a solo yacker audit.
So, did you answer the question about the town you haven't hit yet that's on your wish list?
Yeah, I have Leon Valley, Jackson, Michigan.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting seeing you and Mr. Chief Savaggio in the same room together. That would be interesting, definitely. What's on the menu as far as anything coming up on your channels, as far as anything new that the subscribers are going to be looking forward to?
Yeah, hopefully the story that I'm going to put out now about the homeless agency in Valdosta, like I said, it should be up by tomorrow. And like I said, I got a couple other big things coming out in the next couple weeks. So I think everybody will be talking about it once it comes out. It's going to be something different. So we'll see. We'll see what the response is.
Do you have anything on your mind, NJ? As we wrap up, anything else you want to mention or plug?
No, just that there's a follow-up to the video we were looking at last night.
Yep, I was going to mention that. The donut operator, correct?
That's him.
The donut operator, go like and subscribe to the donut operator. He did a video last night, made a couple infractions, corrected them, fixed them. I don't think we got deep into those issues that he said.
I got to bounce, guys.
All right. So am I. Everyone like, share, and subscribe. 200 subs away to 1,000. I love everybody. I thank everybody. Thank you for everybody who's joined the panel. Please show support and love their way by subscribing. I should be on tonight. And I thank you. And I love everybody. Peace and love, everybody.
Bye.